Ottoman Empire. Women who rule the world. The Sultanate of Women. Kosem Sultan, also known as Mustafa Sultan, was the chief consort and legal wife of the Ottoman Sultan Ahmed I, Valide Sultan, as the mother of Sultans Murad IV and Ibrahim, and Byk elder Valide Sultan as the grandmother of Sultan Mehmed IV. She became one of the most powerful and influential women in Ottoman history, as well as a prominent and controversial figure during the period known as the Sultanate of Women. Born in Tinos, then part of the Republic of Venice, to a Greek Orthodox priest, she was kidnapped and sold as a slave in Bosnia before being sent to the imperial Harem in Constantinople, capital of the Ottoman Empire. There she rose to prominence, becoming the favorite of Sultan Ahmed I. Over time her influence over the Sultan grew, and she became his most trusted advisor. Historians credit her with persuading Ahmed to spare the life of his younger half-brother, Mustafa, who later became Mustafa I, thus putting an end to the centuries-old practice of fratricide in the Ottoman Empire. After Ahmed died in 1617, she was instrumental in the enthronement of Mustafa I. Upon Osmaniye's ascension, she was briefly banished to the Old Palace. Ahmed favored Kösem above all his concubines, lavishing on her the finest jewels and a stipend of 1,000 aspas a day. The Venetian ambassador Simon Contarini, Bilo between 1609 and 1612, mentions Kösem in his report in 1612 and portrays her as a woman of beauty and shrewdness, and furthermore, of many talents. She sings excellently, whence she continues to be extremely well loved by the king. Not that she is respected by all, but she is listened to in some matters, and is the favorite of the king, who wants her beside him continually. George Sandys, an English traveller who visited Constantinople in the early 1610s, recorded Kösem's name as Kosek Kadun Haseki Kadun, and believed that she was a witch beyond beauty. He claimed that the Sultan had a passionate love for Kösem, emphasizing that this was the result of witchcraft. Sandys went on to characterize her as a woman with a delicate and at the same time shy nature. Despite her notoriety as a woman who showed no mercy or compassion for the sake of government and power, Kösem was known among Ottoman citizens for her charitable work, which succeeded in securing the image that she desired. Among her contemporaries, the writer Michel Baudier depicted her as a female politician enjoying authority, while the merchant and traveller Jean-Baptiste Tavernier described her as a woman very wise and well versed in state affairs. Hurrem Sultan Roxelana. The first Haseki Sultan was Roxelana, the wife of Suleiman the Magnificent, who became known as Hürrem Sultan after her conversion to Islam. Hurrem was mistakenly assumed to be of Russian descent, probably because of a mistranslation of her name, and European visitors treated her as Russian. Her ancestry was actually Ruthenian Kingdom of Poland. Her Turkish name Hürrem meant laughing one, or joyful, in testament to her character. Scholars are unsure when she arrived to imperial harem, since there is no data in the record of concubines, although documents recording the birth of her first son acknowledge her presence in 1521. Her significance was established with her marriage to Suleiman after the death of his mother, when she became the first actual wife of a sultan in more than 200 years. Since all concubines were technically slaves, Hürrem also became the first concubine to be freed from slavery. The new title of Kasikci Sultan Empress Consort created for her continued to be given to wives of later sultans. Hürrem engaged in philanthropy, particularly in the building of communal spaces where subjects could spend time. The most prominent of these was the Kasikci Sultan complex in Istanbul, built in the 1530s, which included a women's medical center, a school, a mosque, and a soup kitchen for feeding the poor. She died in 1558 in Istanbul, after the deaths of her eldest and youngest sons. Nearly 500 years after her death, the claim of Russian heritage was removed from her tomb in January 2019. The Sultanate of Women was a period when wives and mothers of the sultans of the Ottoman Empire exerted extraordinary political influence. This phenomenon took place from roughly 1533 to 1656, beginning in the reign of Suleiman the Magnificent, with his marriage to Hürrem Sultan, also known as Roxelana, and ending with the regency of Hürrem Sultan. These women were either the wives of the Sultan, referred to as Kasikci Sultans, or the mothers of the Sultan, known as Valide Sultans. Many of them were of slave origin, as was expected during the Sultanate, since the traditional idea of marriage was considered inappropriate for the Sultan, who was not expected to have any personal allegiances beyond his governmental role. During this time, Kasikci and Valide sultans held political and social power, which allowed them to influence the daily running of the empire and undertake philanthropic works, as well as to request the construction of buildings, such as the large Kasikci Sultan Mosque complex and the prominent Valide Sultan Mosque, also known as the Yeni Mosque Yeni Camiat Emin. Don't forget to like my videos and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. See you in other videos.